Hi, Duncan here again. This is the last video in our series of how-to videos in which I'll run you through a few tips and tricks to remember when using your brake monitor app to monitor your electric brake system. So I've got my iPad here again today with the brake monitor app installed, and I've still got my demonstration board set up on the desk here beside me. So the first thing, we'll just run through the connection process. So I hit my connect button, I put my foot on the brake pedal, my device appears in the list, now I'm connected, and now I'm monitoring my brakes. So what I wanted to show you now is the difference between minimizing the app and terminating the app. So if I hit my home button once, the app is minimized into the background, and I can now use other apps, make telephone calls, that sort of thing. But if I restore the app, you can see the connection to my monitoring system has been maintained. So this is as opposed to terminating the app. So if I minimize it again, and then I double click my home button, this allows me to now terminate all of the running apps on the device. So I terminate my brake monitor app. Now when I come back and reopen it, you can see the connection to my system has also been terminated. So I need to go through the connection process again. But that's easy. Hit the connect button, connect to our device, and now we're connected again. So I'm just showing you the difference between minimizing the app and terminating the app. But that said, sometimes when you minimize the app, the device itself may terminate the app in the background for its own reasons, to free up resources, or perhaps if you download an update. So it is true that sometimes, even if you've just minimized the app, when you come back and restore the app, sometimes you may need to go through the connection process again. But in general, I think you'll typically find that when you minimize the app and restore it to the foreground, that the device will automatically reconnect to your monitoring system. So the next thing I wanted to show you, I've still got my brake monitor app running here, but I've taken my foot off the brake pedal. So you can see my brake switch status is off, and I'm not displaying any wheel magnet currents, but I'm still connected to my device demo board. So now when I put my foot back on the brakes, you'll notice there's a short delay between putting my foot on the brakes and the brake monitor app displaying information. And this is because it takes a short amount of time for the monitoring system to energize and re-establish the Bluetooth connection each time I put my foot on the brake pedal. So this is important to note when you're using the brake monitor app, because if you cycle your brakes too quickly, you won't give the brake monitor app enough time to re-establish the Bluetooth connection. And another thing to note, if you're using multiple mobile devices, I've got my iPad here and it's connected to my monitoring system, but I've also got an iPhone, and now I want to monitor my system from the iPhone. So when I open my brake monitor app, I want to connect to my monitoring system, but it doesn't appear in the list. And that's because it's still connected to my iPad. So if I hit the disconnect button on my iPad, the Bluetooth connection is disconnected, and now I can see it's available for connection on my iPhone. And now we're monitoring the brakes from here. But to touch on something I said before, if I minimize the app on my iPhone, and now I come back to my iPad and try and reconnect it here, again, I can't see it in the list. And that's because although the app has been minimized on my iPhone, the connection in the background is still established. So it's not available to connect to my iPad. So I need to go back to my iPhone to reopen the app and to hit the disconnect button to make the connection available for my other device. So now we can see it's here, we click on it, and now we're connected. So the main takeaway, you can only connect to one mobile device at a time, and while you're connected to that device, you won't see your monitoring system appear on any other device. And the last thing I wanted to show you was a behaviour you should expect to see when your mobile device is right on the edge of Bluetooth reception. So my demonstration board is still on the desk here beside me. If I put my foot on the brakes, we see the short delay to establish the connection. If I have a look at my signal strength, I can see it's in the range of 50 dB. So what I'm going to do now is take my demonstration board to the other end of the building so that I'm right on the edge of Bluetooth reception, just to show you the behaviour of the brake monitor app under those conditions. So my demonstration board is right up the other end of the building now, and the Bluetooth is having to travel through a number of walls and doors. And we can see that the signal strength is now bouncing around between 90 and 95 dB. So we're right on the edge of reliable reception. If I go back to the main screen, we can see the Bluetooth connection is still being maintained and we're receiving data, but all I have to do is shroud the antenna on my mobile device, and it's enough to make the Bluetooth connection drop in and out. So the important thing to note here is the flickering of the display. So when it drops out, it indicates that our brake switch is turning off, but that's only because we're losing the connection. And it's not because the monitoring system is de-energizing. We know from before that if we take our foot off the brake pedal and the monitoring system de-energizes, it takes about a second or so for the connection to be re-established. So when this flickering occurs, it's because we're on the edge of Bluetooth reception, and it's not because the monitoring system is dropping in and out. So that's all of our tips and tricks. If you've got any questions or you're looking for any other information, give us a call or drop us an email. We'd love to hear from you.